The quality of your life is determined by the state of your thinking. As you think, so are you. Let's move on. Oh my God, Obosha. Ooh, see, Tidi Monda Lama Kishigaya. Nida Wombo Kiandaramasaya. Thinking causes what? Travel. You generate a power that travels how? Now, let me say something about travel, and only because I think that this group can handle it. Oftentimes, you will see pictures of witches on a broom. Right? Come on, how many of you have seen a witch on a broom? Whether it's in a cartoon or whatever. How many of you have never? Oh man, okay. You never seen a witch on a broom. Okay, that's good. You never saw a bewitch or anything. That's great. Now, we wasn't talking about seeing a real witch and a real broom. We're talking about the whole imagination of the whole art, because I'm going to tell you what that symbolizes tonight. All that is teaching is travel. Can I tell you that also that is another form, or maybe a perverted form, but can I tell you that that's the way you're supposed to be traveling every time you go in prayer? Can I tell you that was the means of transportation that Philip moved by? When Philip had to go to the Ethiopian eunuch, he left from the place of his revival and was at the place by thought where he was supposed to go. So since the thought was there, he dematerialized at the plane he was at and rematerialized at the plane where his thought was. Now, some of you will probably get to this before you leave this plane. You might as well learn it. There's no sense of practicing during the performance. Why wait until you get on the other side to start? Become aware now. You said you want to be like Jesus. They went to throw him over the cliff. Jesus walked through the midst of them. His thoughts were not down there. And that's the other thing you got to watch. You got to watch what other folks are thinking about you, because the moment you believe it, you receive it. The crowd, the mob started crowding him, and they saw him. They were projecting the Christ down at the edge or over the cliff. But Christ's thought was greater than the thought of the crowd, and he saw himself on the other side. So what he did, while they were no doubt pushing him, he just began to walk right where his thought and his head was. And dematerialized at that plane and went to the place where he knew he ought to be. That's why he could say to his disciples, let us go to the other side. Well, how are we going? I'm walking on water. The ship is out in the sea. Well, since my thoughts are already at the ship and I know I'm going to get there, let me just walk on this water. So he took up his cross. And it just followed. You've been so trapped in this realm that you've been body bound. Touch your neighbor and say, stop being limited in this realm. Oh, Jesus. Thinking brings forth what? An energy that becomes individual as he what? See, that thought brings forth an energy. It brings forth an energy that begins, the more you think it, amen, it starts determining what it becomes. Okay, go ahead. Your welfare. Our thoughts affects our what? Amen. Our thoughts often affect others we what? That should be think of. Now let me share this with you. That's why you cannot allow everyone to speak into your life, and you must watch out who you allow to communicate to you. Now, this is something I've been meditating on. You can take it for what it's worth. And it's very dangerous what I am about to say. That's why this tape will probably only be sold to you. And if you don't get it, that would be it. It might be knowledge that might be left until another generation can handle it. I believe that as African Americans, we have been under a spell and bewitched. Because your channels and receivers have been open to receive, and you've picked up the vibration of other cultures and their thoughts concerning you. You have not had the ability to think beyond them. So when they crowded you and said black people was lazy, their men are no good, their men are dogs, amen. Their women, amen, are leaders in the home, and they begin to bring out all this negative stuff and reports. Black people are sick, they quick to die, hypertension, sickle cell anemia, all the other things. Your receiver picked that up, and you begin to say, well, I am black, I received that, I received that, I received that. Yes, that does compute, I received that too. And what happens is it starts sending a message in this body, in this temple, and start programming it for its time of death. So our people have been under a spell. It takes a deliverer to break the spell. So other cultures hypnotize you if you begin to believe their lie. Hitler did it in Germany, and he says the Jews are our problem. If we can get rid of the Jews, our economy will change. And the next thing you know, concentration camps and Jews were being eliminated. Now fasten your seatbelt for this. You might need to tighten your weave for this. You better grab hold of the railings. If you're on the end, you better grab a hold of that metal down there on the bottom. You might as well brace yourself right now, because I'm getting ready to let a cat out of the bag that no one wants to talk to you about. Pull your nerves together, get your energy together. You better sit up. If you sleep or see someone next to you, better say, you better wake up and get this one here. This one here will put you up for the next several nights. You are in a system that is moving by the same principle, and they are telling you, black people are your problem. If we can get rid of them, we can begin to change the economy. Crime will go down in this nation. They are the problem. It is right around the corner that they will set up concentration camps, stick you in ovens and gas tanks, if you don't go and break the spell. They'll hypnotize an entire nation against you. And I hate to tell you these words, but it's already happened. Amen. And if you don't get it together, you will find yourself. Amen. Some of you right now, amen. How many of you in the natural